Till the end of the war, I worked as a cameraman, with no life experience, no military experience. And here I am with captain's stripes, pistol at my belt, and camera in my hand, with only one task to think of, as faithfully and vividly as possible, to record the combat of our Soviet army. Of course, under these conditions, there was no time to think of composition or laws of optics. I was a soldier of the 1st Ukrainian Front, which under command of Field Marshal Ivan Konyev took the city of Krakow on January 18, 1945. Units of the 65th Army reached Katowice through Opole. Others approached from the southeast. Our target was the Upper Silesian Industrial Region, only about 30 miles from Auschwitz. Because of the approaching front, the SS evacuated the camp on January 17th and 18th. In bitter cold, tens of thousands of prisoners set out on a march towards Gross-Rosen, Mauthausen, Bergen-Belsen, Buchenwald, and other concentration camps. Countless numbers perished. On January 27th at 3 p.m., the vanguard of the Red Army reached the industrial plant of IG Farben near Oświęcim, and the Auschwitz camp complex Auschwitz I, Auschwitz II Birkenau, and Auschwitz III Monowitz. We were given the task of filming the camp by the head of our film crew, Mikhail Fyodorovich Zhurkov, a cameraman who was also very interesting artistic personality. We received no concrete directions on how to go about this task, as we didn't know what can be filmed there, what to film, how and for how long was decided only on location. Before I entered Auschwitz camp area, I had already heard some things about it, but what I saw and filmed there was the most horrific thing I ever saw and filmed during the war. Among the liberated prisoners were over 400 children, now marked with the camp brand. They were learning how to overcome the camp nightmare. Children did not understand who we were and why we came. The children showed the cameraman their tattooed numbers. They no longer had names. The majority of Jewish children, deemed unable to work during selections, were gassed immediately after arrival. Some were even burnt alive. Other children, including non-Jewish ones, were used for various kinds of work. Among liberated children, there were 160 identical twins, on whom Dr. Józef Mengele conducted his medical experiments.
The following afternoon, many Soviet people gathered around us. They asked Miriam and me, and all the surviving children, most of them twins, to put on striped prison uniforms over our clothes. Because we were the Mengeles twins, we had never worn those Auschwitz uniforms before. I was already wearing 2 coats because it was so cold. Underneath our coats and dresses, Miriam and I carried everything we owned: food, bowls, blankets, things we regarded as treasures. We stood at the very head of the line and held hands. The Soviet soldiers marched us out of the barracks, between the high, barbed wire fences. A nurse holding a small child in her arms walked beside us. Huge cameras kept filming. I looked at the cameraman and wondered why he was taking our picture. Are we movie stars or something? I wondered. I was very impressed with it all. The only real movies Miriam and I had seen were the ones starring Shirley Temple that our mama had taken us to in the city. To my surprise, after we had all walked through the fences, the cameraman sent all of us back inside and directed us to march out again, with nuns, nurses, and Soviet soldiers accompanying us. Rows and rows of twins filed back into the barracks, then right back out again. We repeated the action several times until the cameraman was satisfied. Years later, I found out that he wanted to capture the scene as part of a propaganda movie, showing the world how the Soviet army had rescued Jewish children from the fascists. At last, for the final time, Miriam and I, hand in hand, walked out of the barracks in matching striped uniforms. Miriam and I had survived Auschwitz. We were 11 years old.